I'm telling you, you are the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. You are more than a conqueror. You can do all things through Christ, which strengthens you. God didn't bring you this far to leave you. God didn't take you through everything you've been through for you to get here and die in the wine press.
The thing that makes God amazing, one of the things that makes God so amazing is that he can come to you on your level. You don't have to come from a religious tradition or a faith background for God to reveal himself to you. He can reveal himself to you through a rock. He can reveal himself to you through a piece of bread because he is the rock of ages and he is the bread of heaven. He can take something that you do understand and use it to reveal something that you don't understand so that nobody is left out. God wants to put you in a place of still waters. He wants to put you in a place of still waters, not hurricanes, not tornadoes, not turbulence of any kind. He wants to put you in a place of still waters. There may be turbulence all around you, but he wants your center to be still, to be calm. You must have a calm place in order to deal with all the chaos in your periphery. You cannot have still waters until you release or let go many of the things that are distracting you and invading your space. Seemingly, when the enemy knows that God is going to use you in a mighty way, he does everything he can to upset the very genesis of your life, to kind of set you on a path of destructive behavior, to limit any self-esteem that you might have. He doesn't do that. He doesn't fight anybody that's not destined to go anywhere. But when he senses that there's greatness inside of you, the attack comes early. You've been through all kinds of stuff, and that is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of greatness. And over a period of time, God begins to bring forth his purpose. Most people get up out the bed in the morning to see what's going to happen. And then there are a elect group of people who get up out of the bed to make something happen. You have to decide which category you're going to be in. Either you're going to get up on the bed and sit on the side of the bed and say, well, Lord, what am I going to do today? Or you're going to wake up with an agenda and an urgency and a direction and a focus. See, when you got direction, you resist distraction. Sometimes I see people succeeding who didn't pray nearly as hard, work nearly as long, have not been faithful at all. And it seems like they seemingly have moments of victory, placed in close proximity so I could see it. Their victories are flaunted in my face, not while I am having a similar experience, but while all hell has broken loose in my life, and I am going through agony and tragedy, seemingly they are having victory and triumph. And if you're not careful, the very sight of their prosperity becomes your agony. And seeing them go forward will be a source of such continued frustration that it is not your test that baffles you, but their success agonizingly displayed before you makes you despair of life. Don't allow a moment of agony to make you draw a conclusion about life prematurely. Because if you just keep on walking with God, God has a way of making everything all right.
Faith is the belief in things that you cannot see. You can never lose faith. That's the key. You have to believe in something that you can't see. You have to believe when you don't see no way how. You have to buckle down and keep believing. God is always coming. Here's the deal. The moment you ask God for something, he boxes it up and he ships it to you. Here's the problem with the package. He never gives you the date that it's going to arrive. It's going to come. He just don't tell you when. If he told you when, it would destroy the relationship that's required to have an abundant life, which is faith. If God told you you were going to be rich in August of 2021. Do you know how crazy you would talk to people from now until then? Because you know on August 21, I'm going to be rich. But he don't tell you when the package is going to arrive. So here's the deal. He wants you to stay in faith to receive the package because he only delivers to Faith Street. If you step off over here to I Don't See How Boulevard, he don't ship there. If you get over here to I Don't See How Circle, he does not ship there. He only sends the boxes to Faith Street. So when he sends it and you'd have moved off Faith Street, the package got to go back. It's just like UPS or the post office. If they send you a box and you ain't home, they take it back. That's how it works, man.
I think to the greater nation, I would like to say the way you cope with that pain is by grabbing close who you have left, loving them, holding them, not taking them for granted, sending the extra note, the extra text, the extra hug, the extra kind thing. It's the lessons we learn of the brevity of life that makes life special. If we lived forever and there were no end of life, life would not be special. It is death that makes life special. And understanding that brings it into perspective where we stop wasting things like time, having love for people we don't tell them, not resolving old conflicts, having unforgiveness, are the enemies, the cancer that eat up this precious commodity that we call time. If you don't have anybody else to tell you, time will tell you. When you find out that the world doesn't work the way you thought it did, then you have to rebound. The problem is you've lost so much time along the way. And I wrote the book Soar because I think people are having to reinvent themselves. And Soar is about entrepreneurship largely, but it's also about refiguring your life and reevaluating ways you can move forward when somebody doesn't say yes the way you thought they would. They don't have the last say on your future. I see a lot of people in my community and elsewhere who really are working hard to make ends meet with little to work with. They're working day and night trying to make it work. Yeah. But sometimes when you make your living with your own two hands, you can't back away long enough to rethink a smarter, better approach to what you're doing. I'm living in my purpose. I am seeing the things that I envision and that I sense were my God-ordained purpose manifested in my life. And then steering through the winds and the external climates is what soaring is all about. And I'm fairly fearless when I go after something. And I say that with caution because the real truth of the matter is not that I don't feel fear. I don't let fear control my choices. And when you're a very hands-on person as an entrepreneur, you have limited your ability to soar because you have not allowed yourself to reproduce yourself in the lives of delegation to other people. You've got your hands on everything. You've only got two hands, so that limits what you can do, where you can be, and how much money you can make. Ideally, you want to go from a state of doing to a state of being, where it's not about what you do, it's about thinking rather than doing, because you can hire people to do, but you can't hire people to think.
You are the architect of your future. You can't just sit around and hope it happens and wait on it to happen and wish for it to happen and complain about it not happening and fuss about what people are not doing. You have to be consciously going after those opportunities in order to succeed. And that is the job of everybody. We are collaborative in our thinking.
You have to own your own happiness. Take it away from other people demanding that they make you happy. Your kids are not going to make you happy. Your spouse is not going to make you happy. A big house is not going to make you happy. Own your own happiness and be responsible for doing those things that bring joy into your own heart, independently of life and people and money and all of that stuff. Right. It doesn't necessarily give you a happiness. You have to take responsibility of that peace and that joy that lives inside of your heart and not inside of your stuff. People need to do is challenge their own story, because people torment themselves by how they see their life. They've told themselves a story as if it were the truth, when it is really a perspective truth. And sometimes you've narrated a story that you beat yourself to death with. Challenge your own story. Change the way you talk to yourself about who you are and what happened to you and what you're going to do in your life. You wrote the script. Change the story. Enjoy the journey, not the destination. A lot of us delay our happiness. When I get to this level, when I get my degree, when I get the kids, when I get married, I'm going to be happy. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the whole step, the whole process. Every day that you get up to strive for whatever it is you're after. You know, I'm a goal-oriented guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you don't celebrate when you get to the finish line. Celebrate all along the way. Celebrate all along the way.
Today, I want to remind you of a truth that often gets overshadowed by the noise of doubt and skepticism. You were born to be great, and within your heart lies the compass that points to your dreams. It's time to follow that compass, to pursue your passions with unwavering determination, and to silence the doubters and the naysayers. Life is too short to be spent living someone else's dream or bowing to the opinions of those who say you can't. Instead, I urge you to listen to this, your heart.
The number one regret of the dying is they didn't take risks. They didn't become their ideal self. And I think that sometimes people hold off braveness and courage because they don't want to risk failure and they don't want to risk shame. And I think you got to risk it.
You need to decide what you want. You need to decide what you want to be remembered for. You need to decide what your legend will be.
He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. The first step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it. There's no reason to have a plan B because it distracts from plan A.
You ain't never gave 100%. And in order to knock on the door 100 times, you're going to have to get 120. Get up out of here. You can't do this. And you're going to have to fight and fight and fight and fight. And most of you won't be successful, not because you can't do it, but you can't outlast your old you long enough to get to your new one.
Every person feels fear at some point. What should you do? Step. Take the step. Step aggressively toward your fear. That is the step into bravery. We are scared of what we don't know. And there is but one way to confront that fear. Step.
No one's coming back to help you. So it starts with that person in that mirror. You have to realize you are on your own now. On earth, it's a very lonely journey. And it starts with the accountability mirror. I was looking at saying, hey, my daddy beat the hell out of me, he's not coming back. All these things are coming back. I have to face myself. And you have to own all those things that people may have done to you. Now it's yours. You got to own it. It's yours now to fix the problems that people did to you. It makes no sense. It's not fair. I get it. But if you live in that woe is me mentality of guess what? My dad did this to me. My mom did this to me. People who bullied did this to me. You're going to always live right there.
Life. One life. That's all you've got.
What are you gonna do? How bad do you want it? There's two options. To continue forward. You know. And if you do, that dream is giving birth. If you stop, quit, throw the towel. I promise you there's no distance you can travel far enough to end that dream again.
Your life seems like it's gonna last forever, and I will tell you right now, it's not gonna last forever. And those years go by like a summer's day. And the next thing you know, you look up, and that time's gone. You cannot get it back. You cannot get time back. So those dreams that you have, those goals that you have, don't put them off another second. Not 1 second. Get on them and go out and make them happen starting right now.
You are one decision, one relationship, one thought, one emotion, one meeting away from a completely different life. But unless you believe that, and then you program your brain to find those things, you will never have them happen to you. But if you begin to believe, I'm one meeting away from a different life, I'm one decision away, I'm one podcast away, I'm hearing one guy in the United States away from changing my life forever.
That's the thing that's going to really determine success or failure. One is your desire to actually do it. And then two, the commitment that it will take to achieve it.
Figure out what you want. Write it down. Figure out what you could do to start moving towards that. Develop a vision. And you have to do that in dialogue with yourself, right? It's like, if I could have what I wanted, what would satisfy me? And you might think, well, I could never get that. And I can say, well, maybe not, but I'll tell you one thing, man. You can move towards it. And I know almost all the pleasure is in the moving toward.
Most people go through life quietly and safely tiptoeing to an early grave. Find out what it is you want and go after it as if your life depends on it. Why? Because it does. If you don't decide to act on your dream, if you don't decide to make a decision to live your life, if you don't decide to step into your fears, if you don't decide to say yes to your life, it will never work for you. The time for just wishing is past. Time for doing, that's the time right now.
And you go on that mission to upgrade yourself, to become the 2.0 version of yourself. That is threatening. That is scary to the people around you. They don't know this version of you anymore. They can't relate to you.
Maybe your story isn't to receive the opportunity from somebody else, but maybe your story is to make the opportunity for yourself. To step out on life, to play for loud. No more playing small. You were never made to play small. You were meant to play for loud. And I want to see it happen. Because I know that you are capable of it. I don't care what you've been told in the past. I don't care what you've told yourself in the past. But as of right now, everything changes. Go get it.
A blade does not become strong. It does not become tempered until it's been through the fire. And it's hot, and it melts you down, and you're uncomfortable. And you're going to say, what? Am I done yet? Am I a sword for the ages? No. No, you're not. You're not done yet.
Without a test, there's no testimony. The struggle of coming back is beautiful. That struggle. It doesn't feel like it's beautiful while you're going through it, but it's just being tested. Life tests you. Sometimes life annihilates you. But eventually, if you don't quit, it'll be merciful to you.
Man, the beauty of being someone who has to go through struggle, because you get that. If there's no struggle, then it's nothing. There's no journey. There's no journey. You know, you get to make that magic. You get to be the story.
People want the flame, but they don't want to touch the fire. Are you willing to put aside the things that aren't as important to you at this particular moment?
Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable. It's lonely.
Obsession's going to be talent every time. You got all the talent in the world, but are you obsessed? Is it all you ever think about? Let's face it, it's you against you out there. When you walk on that court, you have to think, I am the best guy out there.
If you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying.
Yeah, there comes a day, man. Everyone's going to have this day. There comes a day where being average, being mediocre is just sickening to you. It's just sickening. It makes you want to throw up because you've seen people with far less talent than you. As you're growing up with them, their childhood buddies, whatever else, they didn't have what you had. Yet now they're
and become something that you haven't. There comes that day. It's either when you're young, and it strikes you on the baseball field because you're sick of striking out, or it's when you get fired from your 5th job, when your wife and kids are on your ass because you don't know how to support them anymore. There comes a day where push comes to shove, where being mediocre, being like average and just burns and sucks so much. You can't deal with it one more day, and you get off your ass and you create something that's always been there. It's always been inside of you trying to come out, but you've never wanted to unwrap it because it's too much pain and commitment. You were scared you were going to fail. You were scared if you started, you never finish it. You didn't want to tell anyone about it. You knew it was there, but you never wanted to embark on it.
Don't allow your emotions to control you. We are emotional, but you want to begin to discipline your emotion. If you don't discipline and contain your emotions, they will use you.
If you're going to get to the next level, you're going to have to give up something, right? You're going to have to give up something. And I'm just going to keep it real with y'all. When I say give up, when I talk about sacrifice, I'm saying give up your current blessings. Like, it's going to be hard. Give up the current blessings. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? I had to make a sacrifice. And you hear me? I said, get back up. Because this life is not done with you. Your dream is not done with you. Doubt is not bigger than your purpose. Fear is not bigger than your purpose. Insecurity is not bigger than your purpose. Your purpose is everything. Take full responsibility for your life. Accept where you are and the responsibility that you're going to take yourself where you want to go. Someone said we have 2 primary choices in life. We can either accept conditions as they exist, or we can take the responsibility to change them. This world needs you to achieve everything you got on the inside of you. This world needs you to be you. But in order for you to be you, we got to have you to rise up. I'm here to rise. I came here to conquer. Every morning when I wake, I see that sun rise up. And I want you to be just like the sun. Every morning, I want you to rise up, follow through, and finish. If the day's going to be good, I got to heal from the mistakes that were made yesterday. And I've got to believe that I don't have to make the same mistakes. It's time to heal. Today I heal. Today I heal from every mistake that is made. Today I heal from everything that I said that I could have said better, and everything that was said to me that I wish was never said. I heal today from the people that pushed me verbally but did not support me physically, that were never present. Today I heal, I heal, I heal. I heal from what I did not have. After we heal, we have to acknowledge, coupled with that healing, is what went wrong. You don't have to force yourself or motivate yourself to think negatively, to be depressed, to hate somebody, to want revenge, to want to get back at somebody, to beat yourself up over the head, to feel loaded with guilt. You don't have to make any effort to do that. Your mind is on automatic. It will do that by itself. But if you want to begin to move into your own personal greatness, if you want to begin to really enjoy a happy, successful, healthy life, you've got to be willing to go against the tide. You've got to be willing to harness your will and say, in spite of this, I'm in control here. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm coming back. You gotta fight for the baby that lays in your soul, that burns your chest. Because if you don't feel this fire, then it's not a dream. You feel like you'll do 120%. You'll give everything you have and it still won't be enough. I feel you. I was there. A positive milestone is, what if I give everything and it ain't enough? What if I put my whole heart, my whole mind, my whole soul into it, E.T., and it's not enough? What if I do it and I fail? You gotta face your fear and you gotta do it anyway.
You don't get up when the count is at 9. You don't want it enough.
We end well so we can begin well. Every single one of you, you're a one-on-one. Some of you've got to begin to throw that thing against the wall. And some of you just got to begin to believe.
Even when it's painful, even when we're ostracized, even when we're excommunicated and ghosted, it may hurt, but that pain will subside. And I gotta believe it, so I gotta stay focused. Focus, go where energy flows. Every morning when I wake, I see that sun rise up. And I want you to be just like the sun. Every morning, I want you to rise up, follow through, and finish.
When you want to change, it's not easy. If it were in fact easy, everybody would do it. But if you're serious, you'll go all out.
I will be immune to the pain that is attached to my purpose. I will not be stagnant. I will not stay stuck in the mud that you left me in. I will evolve. I will rise. There's going to be days when it seems like it will never happen. The dream will never manifest. The money will never come. The cars will never come. But you gotta fight for something more than material.
Look, I finished my coursework. It took me 2 years. Why? Because it took me 2 years to get over the fear. It took me 2 years to get over the anxiety. It took me 2 years to finally say, Goliath, here I come. Goliath, you might be taller than me. You might be bigger than me. You might be stronger than me, but I'm coming. And I'd rather die trying. I'd rather die going after this dissertation. I'd rather give everything I got. I'd rather give a year. I'd rather put in work and fail and not try at all.
I see all things working for good. I see you stepping into everything that God has called you to do. I see you stepping into purpose and stepping into the plans that God already has laid out for you. This is your day. Get up and conquer your day. Get up, get up, get up. You've got a day to conquer.
Your future is going to be what you make of it. Because you're not going to be able to rely on people to do things for you. That's not the way life is. If you want to be great at something, you're going to have to put all your commitment and effort and discipline into doing just that. Things aren't handed to you as you get older. In fact, the things that I learned over the course of my life was the things that I actually worked for the most. That's what I valued the most. Where I put all my hard work and effort and dedication and discipline into, those were the things that really paid off. And when I faced really challenging times and really challenging obstacles, that's when I had to figure out deep down about myself what I was all about. And I realized that I can be more and make more of my own career than what a lot of people thought. And I'm still trying to do that today. I want you guys to achieve all that you set out to. It's going to take a lot of work. There's going to be a lot of obstacles. There's going to be a lot of challenges. But you guys are going to be the ones responsible for what you achieve.
If you're going through some things where you feel broken dreams or a broken heart, don't get bitter. Don't give up on your dreams. Stay in faith. It's a sign that God is about to multiply. The loss, the disappointment, the person that didn't keep their word, they thought that they were setting you back, but little do they know that you're going to stay in faith. You're not going to give up. And what they thought was a setback was actually setting you up to increase.
I know the conditions are not everything that you want them to be. I know all the circumstances are not the way you would like for them to be. I know that there are impending dangers that threaten your progress. I know that you don't have the insurance of an outcome. And when you don't have insurance, it is difficult to have assurance. All you have is God's command in your life that God said, keep it moving.
We all face things in life that try to push us down. It's easy to lose our passion and think that's the way it's always going to be. When you get knocked down, you don't stay down. There's a force breathing in your direction, making things happen that you couldn't make happen, giving you strength that you didn't have. It causes you to rise up. Because you have bounced back, that difficulty cannot defeat you. It may hold you back temporarily, but it's just a matter of time before you rise back up.
You have bounce back power. Bounce back from that financial setback. Bounce back from that divorce. Bounce back from that lie, the gossip, the haters. Bounce back. I want to encourage you tonight. There are things that only come out of you when you go through a struggle. So let's just rejoice that people hate. Let's rejoice that the enemy tried his best. In other words, when you go through something hard, God's going to make sure that that works something good out in your life. It pulls something out of you. It shapes you into something special. It prepares you for something that's ahead of you.
I made it all the way. I started preaching when I was 19. And they said I wouldn't last 2 weeks. And I made it all the way to 62. I'm chasing you. I ain't got there yet, but I'm on your heels, buddy. I'm coming after you. Because you can't go ahead if you don't keep it moving. So I kept it moving when I was broke. And I kept it moving when I had some money. And I kept it moving when things were going right. And I kept it moving when things were going bad. And I kept it moving when I had the faith. And I kept it moving when I was scared out of my mind. To all of it, I know you're scared, but keep it moving. Keep it moving. What I got planned will only work if you...
Until you follow your dream and connect it to your gift, you'll never be happy. You got to chase that dream before you die, man. Just go see. God puts your real life in your imagination. That's where your real life ain't in your present circumstance. Your real life is not in your current situation. Your real life is not in your paycheck. Your real life, he tucks it away in your imagination. Listen to me. This is serious what I'm telling you. Don't you think it's nothing else. Imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attractions.
Developing an awareness of yourself beyond your mental conditioning, beyond your circumstances, adverse circumstances, beyond where you are right now, expanding your vision of yourself, going within. At this part of the year, you know what I say? Look behind and thank God. What do you mean? Thank that I'm still here, that I woke up with a pulse this morning. There's so many opportunities, so many blessings, so many things that I could do and participate in and expand my level of awareness.
You may have things coming against you now. Thoughts tell you you'll never get well. This pandemic has ruined your finances. You'll always struggle with this addiction. Don't believe those lies. You may be down, but that is not your final destination. Get ready for favor. Get ready for breakthroughs. Get ready for healing. If you're going to come out of that challenge, you have to do like Micah. This problem didn't come to stay. It came to pass. God being for me is more than the world being against me. I shall arise. No more. It's never going to change. My business will never make it. My child's never going to get back on course. Zip that up. If you talk defeat, you're going to have defeat. That person that walked out on you, they didn't stop your destiny. Quit giving them that much power, thinking that they ruined your life. God has somebody better coming.
I know that there are many of us that are facing struggles. We're in a hard season right now. And when we face hardships and when we face struggles and setbacks or closed doors, it's easy to give up. It's easy to want to cash in the dream and walk away from it. But I'm here to encourage you tonight that it isn't the end. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's the end of something. Think of a seed. For it to become everything it's designed to be. For what's on the inside of that to fully come out and blossom, it must come off the comfortable shelf and it must be placed into a dark place, a hard place for it to germinate and for it to become everything it's created to be. See, just like a seed, there are things in your life, there's dreams, and there is potential on the inside of you that God has put in you that can only fully come out. Your potential can only
Hey everyone, Dailykeymotivation 2024. Today speak going to do what I am going to do the fair in never reaching your potential. That's it's the always feelings short, always quailing before you done, always procrastinating, always not doing the right things, and then one day you're an old man. Yep, and you look back and God, I could have been great. Do you love this game? I mean, love it with your whole heart. Because if you don't, let's not even brother, let's to open that door. They are just going to slam it right in our face. I love this game. I live this game. There's the thousand others guys waiting in these wings who are obsessed with this. Obsessed is going to be talent every time.